Well, good morning, folks. Welcome back to the farm. It's a lovely autumn morning here this morning. Trees are looking beautiful. All the colors are where they're supposed to be. It's a little bit overcast today. In fact, it is even raining just a tiny little bit. But that won't dampen our spirits, and that won't keep us from doing what we got to do today. These 4 lambs over here, they're in the they're in the lambing pen actually. We're going to move them out to pasture here this morning. But as I mentioned in previous videos, we don't have a sheep handling system. And being that these are lambs, they're a little less inclined, or a little less trained perhaps, to just come and go wherever I think they should go. So at one of the auctions this summer, I purchased an old stock rack from the back of a pickup or back of a trailer, or however they had it configured. And I thought this would be a really good place, you can see it over there, a really good place to try and catch the lambs and maybe set up some panels around it or something like that so that we could kind of guide them into there. And from there we've got the little mobile chicken coop / sheep moving trailer. I could back it up to the gate and then they'll just march right in there. Now all of this is a pipe dream that may or may not come true, but we're going to make an honest concerted effort today. Good morning, lammy lambs. How are you this morning? You ready to go for an adventure? Hey? Seems like a good idea, doesn't it? So this is a stock rack I'm talking about. So the last couple of days I've actually fed a little bit of grain in there, just so that they'll be, there's a positive attached to them coming through this gate as opposed to that fear-based aspect that always seems to be. Now, when I put this here, I just dropped it here with the tractor and I didn't really give a lot of thought to how I was going to need it positioned in order to get the lambs in there and then get the trailer backed in and get them to run up into the trailer. In fact, it's completely the wrong direction. So what I gotta do is I gotta turn it around and back it up to the fence because the lambs can still fit through this hole right here. We don't want that. So we'll back that end up to the fence and then I'll feed a little bit of grain inside and get them in there and then bar the gate shut. So you might be wondering why in the end of September, almost October, we're gonna put some lambs out to pasture. That seems a little bit crazy. Why weren't they on pasture this whole time? Well, in fact, they were. And recently we sent a bunch of lambs to market, and these came up with those market lambs, and we graded, right? We're like, which ones are going to be our best, and which ones are maybe on the B team. And so all the B team lambs went to market, and the A team lambs, the ones that we direct sell to a consumer, are staying on the farm, and we're going to do a little bit of more fattening with these ones. But we weren't really sure what we're going to get out of the auction. Now, we recently got our check from the auction just the other day. We got $1,700 for 9 lambs and 3 cull ewes, which isn't a heck of a lot. But and that's why I didn't want to send all of them, because our best ones, I certainly didn't want to take a hit on the best ones when I can sell those directly to somebody for probably $300 to $350 for this animal. Once it puts on another 15 pounds, of course. But I can do that on pasture as opposed to having to keep in a containment and feed on hay or feed on grain or something like that. If I can get them out on grass, keep them fattening, they're going to do much, much better on their grass than they will inside of a corral system or a pen system like this. But for now, I'm going to go get the side-by-side and the little trailer hooked up, and I'll bring a bucket of grain over and we'll get them in there first, and then pen them up, and then I'll bring the trailer in. We'll back the trailer right up beside it, and fingers crossed, they'll just walk right in that little trailer. And if they don't, well, you'll get a show. So now I got my bucket of grain, the little trailer's on the side-by-side. We got the pen all set up. The sheeps look like they're hungry. Let's see how well this works. Can't go through the side, sheeps. You gotta go through the door. There's nothing in the bucket, it's empty. All the treats are in there. One's got it figured. 2's got it figured. 3's got it figured. 4's got it figured. I better quit counting sheep or I'll be going to sleep here. 4 doesn't got it figured. 4's a little slow. Come on, buddy, you can do it. Oh my, that's really there you go. I'll just swing this closed. Enjoy your snack time. So got the trailer backed in up against the little pen here. I brought a hog panel in as well, just because, well, I can only be on one side of the ramp at a time. You know, the beauty of all this mobile, portable infrastructure is that it doesn't matter if I'm here, it doesn't matter if I'm in the field, it doesn't matter if I'm somewhere else. All of this stuff can go with me, and we can do whatever we need to do. The downside of it, however, is it's portable. That doesn't mean it's light. So moving it, although it's convenient to be able to move it to wherever I gotta be, it's not convenient to move it because it's heavy. So these hog panels is they're really heavy. This thing is really, really heavy. All of the high hog panels we've got are really, really heavy. And so having a system in place to be able to move those efficiently would be like the next level, I guess. But big picture wise, I want to think beyond the portability when it comes to infrastructure for sheep handling. We've got some stuff down in the bottom corrals where we can manage them pretty effectively with some panels. But up here in the farmyard, I would really like to get to a point where, I mean, we know that the sheep are going to be based out of here, out of this pen, in fact, for like 5-6 months of the year. So it'd be nice to have something a little bit more static, a little bit more fixed and permanent. But for now, we're gonna make do. This is what we have to work with, and that's what we're gonna work with. But anyways, let's get this gate opened up and see if we can get these sheeps loaded onto the trailer. All right, come on, sheeps. You still got lots of snack left, don't you? That's fine. Eat your snack, and then we'll go. You know what I should have done is I should have grabbed another hog panel for right here and fill this gap, and then I could go in there and chase them up. I got one more panel, so I'm gonna close this gate for now, and I'll go get that other panel. Then I think we'll be in business. So I got my second hog panel in here, and I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, man, this has gotta be how the pros do it. This has gotta be. It's gotta work, right? What could possibly go wrong? Well, what could possibly go wrong is a sheep comes out of here, goes down through there, and goes underneath the ramp, and away we have ourselves a rodeo. Well, we're not going to think about that. No. Everything's going to go well. We're going to think positive thoughts. All right, lammy lambs. It's time. You can do it. I believe in you. You need a little human encouragement? Or are we going to go by ourselves? Just sniff it out. You'll see it's okay. There you go. Perfect. 2, 3, 4. Bingo bango, like it was meant to be. All right, so I'm down here now in the dugout pasture, and I'm gonna release these lambs into this paddock by themselves. Now the gates are all open to the other sheep, so they'll be able to get down and get to where the other sheep are by themselves. I just don't want to take them all the way down to where the other sheep are, because, well, I have this feeling that if I go down there with the side-by-side and now they see it, they're gonna think there's treats, and I'm gonna get mobbed at the gate, and there's gonna be a potential for somebody to get out and get mixed in with the cows, and then that's just some psychological distress that I don't need right now. All right, sheepy sheeps, it's time. Come on out. There you go. Go find some tasty grass now. Good job. So, you know, we've been pretty fortunate this year, especially with having a drought year and everything like that, to be able to keep the grass as green as it is. And we've only been able to do that by keeping everybody moving, keeping the sheep moving, keeping the cows moving, and just staying on top of that stuff. And my biggest fear was, you know, because this field actually ran out of grass at the beginning of July. My biggest fear was we were going to be out of grass midsummer, and then it was going to snow like the 1st of September kind of thing, and then we'd be really screwed because there's no pasture, there's no hay, and we're looking at a 200-day winter kind of thing. But here we are now. It's the end of September. The grass, although there's not a ton of it, is still relatively green, and fingers crossed we can keep the animals out until mid-October, in a, in a perfect world, even the beginning of November would be amazing. I can see down this fence line, we've got one lamb out where it's not supposed to be. So maybe we didn't send everybody to market that we should have. And that's one thing, if you've got a sheep that's habitually getting out or is habitually uncooperative, you're never gonna get that out of that sheep. You're never gonna get it out, you're never gonna breed it out. The only way to do it is to market it out. So get that sheep gone. So as they go down there, I'm gonna have to keep a pretty close eye on who this is. And well, they might be on my list. If it's the first time, I'll give them a hall pass, because you never know if one of the dogs come down or there was a coyote and somebody got stressed and was forced through a fence or made a last minute decision like, hey, I got a fight or flight, and they come through the fence. That's forgivable. But if they're doing it because they just don't want to be contained, well, you don't have to be. There's another option. Anyways, earlier in the year, we fenced all this stuff off here. This fence is all new. That fence is all new. And you can see we've got some panels here. And this is the old field. This is where they were. How am I going to get that lamb back through here? Really easy, just open that gate, right? But then I risk having all of these other sheep come up and mob me. Like I said, mob me and then end up in this big field, and it's going to be a gong show. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to close this gate up to here. I know that nobody else is in that paddock, so I'll just swing this panel open. And then this lamb that's down here, I'm just going to run it down the fence line. And it'll shoot off and it'll go into that field there. And I'll kick the panels open and the gate together. Fingers crossed, everybody will be where they're supposed to be. The other thing, this may take me more than one run because I'm dragging the mobile chicken coop / sheep moving trailer. And well, just the fact that this is a crew cab Ranger, I'm already not nimble, but dragging a trailer, it makes it even that much better. So I'm gonna have to take a wide berth around this lamb and then push it back. Hopefully it just goes on the first go and this doesn't turn into a full-on rodeo. Come on. Go down that way. Go that way. I'll just grab her. Well, she wanted to go through the fence and not down along the fence. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick her up and put her over the fence. Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. You don't see this kind of behavior too often with the ewes. This is more aggressive male behavior. So they must be fighting to see who's boss ewe here. So this is Duchess and Queen. Oh, and now the lambs are joining in. What the heck? Delma's over here like, hey, anybody got any treats? She doesn't care about any of this political nonsense happening in the background. She just wants some snacks. All right, so moving sheep actually went relatively well, and that's fantastic. That means I got the whole afternoon to work on special projects. So I got a stack of lumber here, and we bought a king-size bed earlier this year, and just been the mattress on the floor for the longest time, and that's getting really old. So this afternoon, we're gonna put together our bed. Now, I'm not gonna film any of this because if it goes sideways, well, there'll be no evidence. If it goes well, well, then it'll just go well. But I'll let you go for now. I hope you have a fantastic Sunday afternoon. I'll see you tomorrow.